in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean by providence, impoverished and squalor, grow up to be a hero and a scholar. The $10 founding father without a father got a lot farther by working a lot harder, by being a lot smarter, by being a self-starter. By 14, they placed him in charge of the trading chart.
And every day while slaves were being slaughtered and carted away across the waves, he struggled and kept his guard up. Inside he was longing for something to be a part of. The brother was ready to beg, steal, borrow, or barter.
And a hurricane came and devastation reigned. Our man saw his future tripping down the drain. Put a pencil to his temple, connected it to his brain, and he wrote his first refrain that tested into his vein.
Got around, they said this kid is insane, man. Take a collection just to send it to the mainland. Get your education, don't forget for what you can. And the world's gonna know your name. What's your name, man? Alexander Hamilton. It's Alexander Hamilton. And there's a million things I haven't done. Just you wait, just you wait.
When he was 10, his father stepped for a bit, dead. 2 years later, see Alex and his mother, they didn't have dead. Sitting in the seat, he said, thick.
But Alex got better, but his mother went quick. Working with a cousin committed suicide. Nothing with nothing to find something new inside a voice saying, Alex, you gotta bet for yourself. Started treating and needing every tree is on the shelf. There's nothing left to do for someone less than student. He would have been dead and destitute without a cent of restitution. Started working, hunting for his late mother's landlord. Trading sugar cane and rum and all the things he can't afford. Sending for every book he can get his hands on. Waiting for the future, see him now as he stands on the ground of the ship. Heading for a new land. In New York, you can be a new man. In New York, you can be a new man. In New York, you can be a new man. In New York, you can be a new man. Just you
See already in the wings, for you waiting in the wings. You can never back down, you never let to take your time. And better does things for you. You overcame, but they know you be wrong again. We'll never be the same.
She was in the home now, see if you can spell you. And I don't get her, you're coming up for the best. It's good and representative, you got it.
We fought with him.
I died for him. I trusted him.
I love him.
Me, I'm the damn fool that shot him.
We're just in the way.
What's your name, man?
Alexander Hamilton.
I am not going to be found out. I am not going to be.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today. Just wanted to say a couple words and then we'll get right to the fun part of this with Vincent and Morgan, who are from the Hamilton cast and are very excited to sing and talk and discuss and interact with us all. So I'm Paul Schiff. I'm the vice president, one of the partners. Actually, there's only two of us of the company. And great that you're all here today with us. Just as a side note, a lot of people do know us from MassQ, from, a lot of the summits that we go to over the years. 65% of our business is done in the public sector. We make sure that we provide the best solutions possible for the dollars available and the time that you'd like them to cover you for. Naturally, technology changes every day, but sustainable solutions are one of the things that are really important to us. So we make sure that in that space, you get what you need, and it actually helps to solve the problems that you might have. A lot of things that we're doing doing today for our clients in both education, local government, state government, include managed services. We're helping our clients make sure that their environments are forever running. We're in the background, keeping it peak tune, peak performance, making sure that everything is up and running so that you can go and deal with your end users on a regular basis. We also do a lot of endpoint solutions around asset management, procurement, you name it, we do that. Digital transformations or digital, every day is a new word, but we're helping our clients either move to the cloud, go hybrid, or stay local. Very important that everybody takes advantage of what's free to them, especially in the K-12 space, and making sure that it runs properly. A big deal around Chromebooks, Wi-Fi, making sure that we're managing and helping our clients get the most out of those dollars to provide those services. Security is a big topic for everybody today. Everybody hears about ransomware. Not a lot of people understand where it's coming from or how it's getting to them. But essentially, it's getting through the firewall because people click on an email, give them some information, and they get in. We do a lot of training around that. We're making sure that we get our clients, and their peers and their constituents within the organization to become human firewalls. That's a really important part of what we do. The training is also important today. If you're not doing that, we'll do it for you, with you, however you like. I am available for presentations. I do tend to scare people a lot. We do everything that a K-12 or local government needs except for software, audio visual, in-classroom technology, infrastructure, so on and so forth. So that's our story. We've been around for 25, 27 years now. Just we're named to the new state ITS 78 contract for security solutions. So we can help our clients with that. Very excited that all the work we've been doing has now paid off into being accepted into that contract. So we're looking forward to helping our clients take care of all of that as well. So that being said, if anybody has any questions, I'm really big on interaction or interactivity. Ask away. Vincent and Morgan are from the Hamilton cast in New York, I just found out today. And we're very excited to have them on board. I'm going to open this up to anybody that wants to ask any questions. They're very friendly. If you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask them about their experience, about their lives, if they feel like answering, I'm sure they'll be more than happy to respond. So we were talking about everything being closed for COVID for the last God knows how many months. When is Broadway opening up again so that we can go see you guys?
September, right?
Yeah, well, actually, so we are a part of the LA company. So
okay.
Los Angeles. So yes, but we are living in New York currently, so we have a big move ahead of us. But,
oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, which is still, we're so excited, and like what better place than New York to be than performing the show in LA. It'll be really cool.
That's great.
So we actually go back sooner than Broadway does. Broadway comes back between the months of like September and December for all Broadway shows. But on the West Coast, with tours and things happening, we should be getting back. The projected date is mid-August. That previews.
Wow.
So
great.
Very soon. So we're excited.
Get back to work time. That's great.
Shape, absolutely.
So I have another question. Does it get tiring working at night all the time? I mean, when the show ends, how quickly do you get out? Because I never wait around for the cast members to leave.
It definitely does get tiring. I mean, simply because it's, very physical and also, vocally, and you're depending on what track you're in that night, you're crying and doing all this kind of stuff. And so, you just imagine, having to do that 8 times within a week. You kind of start to get, once that Sunday matinee show comes around, you're like, all right, yeah. But Yeah, I mean, it's. I feel like you kind of get used to it. You get into sort of a rhythm and figure out how to find the energy for those shows that your body's kind of really feeling. The work. But yeah, well, I mean, we try and get out of the show pretty quickly because I mean, like the sooner we can get out, the sooner the crew is able to go home as well because they have to deal with all of our costumes and microphones and stuff. So if we're kind of taking our time, it's like they're sitting here, waiting to get back home to their kids and their family. So yeah, we're trying to keep it quick.
Cool. Very cool. Colleen, nice of you to join us. Thank you very much.
So I have a question about some of the parts. I noticed a trend. It seemed to be a trend anyway, where some of the parts, obviously in Act One, one actor will play one part, like a Hercules Mulligan, and then in Act Two will be like a James Madison. Is that written into the scripts? Like if you're Hercules Mulligan, you're also James Madison. I realize it kind of has to work like that, but I was super impressed with Hercules, the guy that played Hercules Mulligan, because just the two roles are so vastly different,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly written into the show, which makes it really interesting when you're like someone in our position who covers some of these tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, okay, yeah, like I'll be, Jefferson in Act Two, Lafayette in Act One, but then they might call me up and I gotta, it's a whole trick bag. But yeah, it's written that way, which makes it really cool, I think.
Wow, that's cool.
How do you learn how to cry on demand?
Oh my gosh. I feel like it's interesting. It doesn't feel like crying on demand. It feels like crying with the material or because of being affected by it. At least that's how I feel like really strong actors do it. Not that I'm strong. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, show us
Go on.
right now. Come on.
The strong actors that I admire, I feel that they are just simply moved by the material and then brought to tears. And I mean, I don't know. I think we carry a lot in all of our lives, and it's really not difficult to cry. I know it's a little bit, upsetting and melancholy, but it's kind of true. It's just like, when you're especially in the given circumstances, like when I'm on as like Eliza, and her son dies, spoiler alert. I feel like I just sit in the weight of that, and then it kind of starts to bring in thoughts from my personal life that kind of you can't. And I try my best to keep my life and the show separate, but sometimes just the weight of life, man, that's all.
Kind of crosses.
Yeah, it does. It intersects completely.
Yeah.
It's going to be easy now with COVID. You got to think about COVID right now. You'll be crying a storm.
I've definitely thought about that. I have considered that, and it's going to be a piece of cake. So
There's motivation for you. Anybody else?
Because you guys are on Broadway and it's such a busy schedule, and then COVID hit, what did you do from that onset of COVID forward to where we are now? Because that must have been quite a switch for you. Now what?
Yeah.
I mean, something that my high school theater teacher always used to tell us is, and it sounds kind of morbid, but like she would just say this phrase like evolve or die, basically. And so it's like, I think like many people, when COVID hit, it's like, all right, like the things that we were doing prior to this, we can't do right now. So how do we navigate? How do we evolve? How do we shift? It's like, we'll direct this thing virtually. We'll do this Q&A, this talk back over here. We'll maybe do some babysitting. Maybe, just like getting creative and doing what we needed to and drawing on the skills that we have amassed over the course of our lives, whether they were, artistic or otherwise, to keep it going, keep it moving, because the bills don't stop. So
No, they don't.
So true. Have you guys gotten involved in that birthday song thing that a lot of actors are doing? They're recording birthday videos for people, and they're getting paid like big bucks.
Like
Cameo?
Cameo,
Yeah.
Yes, I'm part of a platform called VidSig right now, and it's actually, I think they're not necessarily like competing with Cameo, but it's very similar services that they provide, and so I've decided to sign on with them because their like kind of slogan is like celebrities with integrity, and I just really appreciated that.
Like that.
I feel like that would also draw in, clients and people looking for those kinds of services.
Sure.
Or just like, looking for just fun interactions with people they admire. So that was kind of more of a platform I was looking for. But no, I have not taken part in Cameo, but I am aware of that online.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Well, why don't we take a break and let you guys do your thing for a minute,
Yeah.
and then we can get an opportunity to save get their questions together if they have any more, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Well, hello, everyone. So yes, my name is Morgan Anita Wood, and I just thought I'd get us started with one of the happiest, most wonderful songs in the show, and also a song that we could kind of do together, I guess. But this is Helpless. Ooh, how do I do? Hey, ooh, how do I do? Boy, got me helpless. Look into your eyes and the sky's the limit. I'm helpless. Down for the count and I'm drowning in them. I have never been the type to try and grab the spotlight. We were at a revel with some rebels on a hot night, laughing at my sister as she's dazzling in the room. Then you walked in and my heart went boom, trying to catch your eye from the side of the ballroom. Everybody's dancing and the band's top volume, grind to the rhythm as we whine and dine. Grab my sister and whisper, yo, this one's mine. My sister made her way across the room to you, and I get nervous thinking, what's she gonna do? She grabbed you by the arm, I'm thinking I'm through. Then you look back at me and suddenly I'm helpless. Oh, look at those eyes. Oh, yeah, I'm helpless. I know. I'm so into you. I am so into you. I'm helpless. I know I'm down for the count and I'm drowning in them.
Where are you taking me? By all means, lead the way.
Elizabeth Schuyler, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Schuyler?
My sister. Thank you for all your service.
If it takes fighting the war for us to meet, it will have been worth it.
I'll leave you to it. 1 week later, I'm writing a letter nightly. Now my life gets better every letter that you write me. Laughing at my sister cause she wants to form a harem. I'm just saying if you really loved me, you would share 'em. Ha! You're in the living room stressing. My father's stone-faced while you're asking for his blessing. I'm dying inside as you whine and dine, and I'm trying not to cry cause it's nothing that your mind can't do. My father makes his way across the room to you. I panic for a second thinking we're through, but then he shakes your hand and says be true. Then you turn back to me smiling and that boy is mine, that boy is mine. Helpless, helpless, down for the count and I'm drowning in all.
Eliza, I don't have a dollar to my name, an acre of land, a troop to command, a dollar for fame. All I have is my honor, a tolerance for pain, a couple of college credits and my top-notch brain insane. Your family brings out a different side of me. Peggy confided in me. Angelica tried to take a bite of me. No stress. My love for you was never in doubt. We'll get a little place in Harlem and we'll figure it out. I've been living without a family since I was a child. My father left, my mother died. I grew up wild, but I'll never forget my mother's face. That was real. And long as I'm alive, I swear to God you never feel so.
I do.
Eliza, I never felt so.
Said I'm down for the count.
Yeah, my life is gonna be fine, cause Eliza's in it.
And look into your eyes and the sky's the limit.
New York, you can be a new man. In New York, you can be a new man. In New York, you can be a new
Helpless.
definitely want singing lessons.
was awesome.
Beautiful. That was
And you two
gorgeous.
singing it together made it even better because
Oh yeah.
there's that connection.
Thank
How
you.
cool
Yes.
is that?
I'm so distracted.
Absolutely. Wow. That was great.
You killed it.
Very neat.
I have
Go ahead,
another
Jared,
question.
go.
Yeah.
Jared.
So I'm curious. Schuyler Sisters, some of their songs are some of the ones that have moved me the most. The Rewind song is, you know, I was just wondering if in being up on stage, if you ever just get so in it that like you actually get choked up.
I think, I mean, you nailed it with Satisfied. I think it's inevitable. Every single time I sing the lyric, like, at least I keep his eyes in my life, like that one, like I'm just, ooh, like immediate, like just welling, like the tears really come, and I feel like that is the time and place for that, you know, because I'm also trying to sing the song, the bear of a song that is Satisfied. But I mean, it's also inevitable, like just with like, yeah, following the material. And like we said earlier, like bringing in like elements of your own life. Like we had a really tough week, and then we both ended up going on as Eliza and Hamilton together. And it's just like, we're just singing to each other the whole, I get goosebumps.
Quiet Uptown was just like.
Oh yeah, that song, I mean, like I was explaining earlier too, like that, it's just following the material is not difficult. Like I feel like the stakes are so high because you know they're human too. Like we all go through those experiences where like the stakes could not be higher, and our emotions like overtake like just our humanity, I think, or they come because of our humanity. And so like thinking even like when I play Mariah Reynolds, like I need somebody in my life, you know, I'm like, please somebody help me. Like my husband is literally abusing me and I need like love and affection and attention, and I'm 24 years old, you know? And so I feel like that even gets like my emotions just running, you know, just knowing the exact circumstances that young woman was in at that time. So it's definitely not difficult to feel that.
Yeah, I mean, and because like your mind is like as an actor, your mind is conscious that all of this is pretend, but your body's not, you know. And
right.
A lot of us hold emotion in our bodies, like I think much longer than any of us realize. And so I think especially like inhabiting these roles and doing that 8 times a week, you know. When you're saying some of these lines or going through some of these moments, like your body will just react sometimes, and it's like you can't help but cry because it's something is triggered internally. Even though you know that it's fake, it's such a weird thing, but it's really cool also.
So
Well, you're
I
in
can
the
only
role.
imagine what it's like to be your neighbor.
Our neighbor, we had to just stop worrying about it. I was petrified at first. I'm like doing these events, you know, pretty consistently, but I'm like, we have yet to have a complaint in our current apartment. So fingers crossed.
Well, your voices are beautiful, so I can't even imagine anybody would complain.
Oh, thank
Thanks.
you.
It's awesome stuff. It really is. So that's
We do have one more song for you if you'd like to hear that.
Yeah, please.
Amazing. Okay.
It's not really singing, but I think you'll enjoy it anyway. We're gonna do, or I guess I'm going to do my shot.
you go.
I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I'ma get a scholarship to King's College. I probably shouldn't brag, but dang, I'm amazed and astonished. The problem is I got a lot of brains, but no polish. I gotta holler just to be heard, and with every word I drop knowledge, I'm a diamond in the rough. A shiny piece of coal, trying to reach my goal. My power of speech, unimpeachable. Only 19, but my mind is older. These New York City streets get colder. I shoulder every burden, every disadvantage. I have learned to manage. I don't have a gun to brandish. I walk these streets famished. The plan is to fan this spark into a flame, but damn, it's getting dark. So let me spell out the name. I am the ALEXANDER. We are meant to be a colony that runs independently. Meanwhile, Britain keeps shitting on us endlessly. Essentially, they tax us relentlessly. Then King George turns around, runs a spending spree. He ain't ever gonna set his descendants free, so there will be a revolution in this century into me. Don't be shocked when your history book mentions me. I will lay down my life if it sets us free. Eventually, you'll see my ascendancy, and I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. It's time to take a shot. Bird, check what we got, Mr. Lafayette. Hard rock like Lancelot. I think your pants look hot. Lorenz, I like you a lot. Let's hatch a plot, blacker than the kettle calling the pot. What are the odds? The gods will put us all in one spot. Popping a squat and conventional wisdom, like it or not. A bunch of revolutionary manumission abolitionists. Give me a position, show me where the ammunition is. Or am I talking too loud? Sometimes I get overexcited. Shoot off at the mouth. I never had a group of friends before. I promise that I'll make y'all proud. I imagine death so much it feels more like a memory. When's it gonna get me? In my sleep, 7 feet ahead of me? If I see it coming, do I run or do I let it be? Is it like a beat without a melody? See, I never thought I'd live past 20. Where I come from, some get half as many. That skinny body, why we living fast and we laugh, reach for a flask. We have to make this moment last, and that's plenty. Scratch that. This is not a moment, it's the movement. Where all the hungriest brothers with something to prove went. Foes oppose us. We take an honest stand. We roll like Moses, claiming our promised land. And if we win our independence, is that a guarantee of freedom for our descendants? Or will the blood we shed begin an endless cycle of vengeance and death with no defendants? I know the action in the street is exciting, but Jesus, between all the bleeding and fighting I've been reading and writing, we need to handle our financial situation. Are we a nation of states? What's the state of our nation? I'm past patiently waiting, I'm passionately smashing every expectation, every action's an act of creation. I'm laughing in the face of casualties and sorrow. For the first time I'm thinking past tomorrow, and I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. We're gonna rise up, time to take a shot. We're gonna rise up, time to take a shot. We're gonna rise up, rise. It's time to take a shot. Rise up, rise. It's time to take a shot. Rise up. Time to take a shot. Rise up. Take a shot, a shot, a shot. Hey yo, it's time to take a shot, time to take a shot. And I am not throwing away my shot.
Well, that was awesome.
That was great.
Thank you very, very much. That was fantastic. You guys are great. This has been, a slice of heaven in a very dark time. So it's been really great. Now that the restrictions have been lifted, everybody's excited about moving forward with life again, getting out to restaurants, going to theaters, movies, you name it. We're out there.
Yeah.
So anybody have any other questions of Vincent and Morgan or us?
I have a question. How long does it take you to learn your lines to the songs that you do, especially when you do so many songs?
Yeah, you go.
So we had 6 weeks of rehearsal initially, but then for each subsequent track that we know, we had how many? 8 rehearsals.
About 4 weeks.
Yeah, about 4 weeks to learn each one. So not a ton of time, but I was a super fan of the show before I was ever a part of it. So when the album dropped, I listened to it all the way through 3 times in a row. So, by the time they got me an audition for the show, I was like, I know all of this music.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
Good for you.
What we're called on-stage covers. So we are on stage in the ensemble full time, but we also understudy a lot of people simultaneously. So it gets really easy really quickly to learn the words because you are not only singing them in with the ensemble vocals every night, but you're also actively listening and studying the roles when you're on stage with these people. So that's really handy.
Wow. So how long does it take? At what point do they tell you you're going to be playing a different role that night or a different track? Do you walk in and they go, hey, guess what? You're doing this person today?
Yeah, it varies. It varies. You know, it depends on, I've had a colleague who has gone on in the middle of the show several times. She just jumps off from, being an offstage cover, and she jumps into the show. I remember one time she went on in the middle of what's the song Right Hand Man, which comes right before she had her solo Helpless. So that was kind of a whirlwind. I remember just observing that and being thankful it wasn't me. But the latest notice I've been given is 15 minutes before the show.
Wow.
Which is rough, but it's just part of the job, I think. But yeah, I debuted as Eliza at the beginning of that week, and by the end of the week, it was my second time going on as Peggy. So Peggy, I had like 15 minutes notice, and I was already dressed to be in the ensemble. I was already at work and like ready to go.
Wow.
And then we ended up doing a very different role that day, and had to switch my brain from Eliza to Peggy all of a sudden, and Mariah Reynolds. So
that's talent. It's crazy stuff though. But so from the other part of that is like you have to change costumes, right?
Oh yeah.
So do they fit you? Do they have to make adjustments to the costume to put it onto you, or do you guys wear the same stuff? Do they have multiple sets of costumes?
Yeah. So everyone in the show has their own custom made
set.
We have custom boots, and we've got shoes, and for every track that we cover, we have our own costumes that have been made exactly for us. Yeah.
Wow, so that makes it easier.
We have great dressers backstage also who are helping us to put these things on, because otherwise,
as a Skylar sister, I cannot get dressed by myself. I literally can't. I can't do it.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's definitely difficult clothing to wear.
Yeah.
They used to back then they had people helping them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, this has been unbelievable. Thank you very, very much. For those of you that are new to Hub Tech, thank you for joining us. It was great having you. If you have any other questions of Vincent and Morgan, you can certainly ask now or forever hold your peace. If you have any questions of Hub Tech, you can always reach out to us and we'll answer them anytime. But again, thank you all for joining us today. But again, thank you all very much for joining. A wonderful evening. You guys were awesome. Can't say enough. Well worth it.